Okay, welcome back to another video. Good afternoon. We all love camera lenses and we all know what they look like. For example, one of my favorite lenses, the 85mm f1.4. It's a good size, it's not heavy, it's just something you can use every day. Another everyday lens, actually one of my favorite everyday lenses, 24-105 f4. Super versatile, great zoom range, f4, not the best, not the worst. And then Sigma made something. They made this, the 105mm f1.4. Now this lens is a beast. If we compare it to, say, the 85mm f1.4, so the same aperture, also from Sigma, and take off the lens hood to make it a fair fight, you can see the size difference between these bad boys. That is substantial. Today, we're going to talk about this thing, the Sigma 105mm f1.4. If you guys have seen any of my videos before, you know exactly how I do all of my lens reviews. We do a short overview of the specs, the technical stuff, how it feels, and then we'll run into Lightroom and we'll check out some of the photos I've taken on it. And I will say, right off the rip, this is one of the best lenses I've ever used. It's amazing. The bokeh is beautiful, it's sharp, the compression is amazing. It's everything that you love in an 85mm, just better, but also a lot heavier. So let us move into this. Really quickly, starting off the build and the design, solid heavy duty construction. As you can see, we'll take the lens hood off so we can see a little bit more. The construction of this lens. First off, it's built like an absolute beast. Basically a full metal construction. As you can see, the rear of it and the collar of it, the front of it is basically all nice made metal. Having it built with metal does come with a price. That price being weight. This thing weighs 1.6 kilograms, or for us Americans, 3.6 pounds, which is heavy. Compared to the 85mm or the 24-105 or even the 7200 GM2, this is almost double the weight of it. Most of these lenses that you guys know and use are going to be around that 1.5 to 2 pound range, but this guy is 3.6 pounds. It is heavy. It does have a removable tripod collar down here, but I prefer to keep it on. That's where I mount it onto tripods and stuff like that. And then also I think it's easier to hold it from down here, and it rests really nicely on a table, just like that. This lens is not very travel friendly. It's a 105mm f1.4, and this lens is not very travel friendly. I will say that. A giant filter thread up front being 105mm, and then also it's bulky, it's big, it doesn't fit into a backpack very well. And you can remove the tripod collar, but still, it's really big and bulky. So you need a big backpack, and it doesn't fit into any backpack really specifically well. But that said, you can travel with it. It's just not the easiest thing to travel with. Okay, coming into the image quality, that's kind of what you guys want to know about this lens. This thing is a beast when it comes to portraits, and that's what I mainly use it for. This thing is insanely sharp, even wide open at f1.4, and with that 9-bladed aperture and f1.4 105mm compression, you get some beautiful background separation in that bokeh. So this lens is beautiful. There is very little chromatic aberration, which is kind of surprising coming from this lens, but there is a good, I don't want to say good amount, but there is vignetting. You can definitely tell that there's vignetting, but super easy to take care of. And personally, I enjoy some vignetting in most of my photos, at least how I color grade them. You get excellent colors out of this. I shoot raw personally, and all of my color grades look amazing on this, and it's a really good lens when it comes to contrast and micro contrast as well. Moving on to the autofocus, this does have those older HSM motors, unlike this one, which you can tell doesn't have a window up front to see like the focus distance. So 85mm, there's no window, but then on the 105mm, you can see there is that little focus window. And you can kind of tell that that is like the generations or versions of lenses that they made. The older lenses do have that window up front, to where you can kind of see the focus distance, but the newer ones don't have it. Personally, I do like that window. I just think it's something cool to look at, but the newer ones don't have it, which I hope they bring back soon enough. It performs really well. It's really fast. It's really snappy. You guys will be able to see a couple shots of it focusing, and it's honestly really quiet. For being 105 millimeters, moving that large of a front element, or not front element, focusing element, it does really well. It's quiet, it's fast, and there's maybe 1 or 2 times in a session that I'll be like, oh, that's not sharp, that's not focusing. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I would happily shoot this in a high stress environment like weddings, even sports I've shot, basketball I've shot with this, and it does amazing. Finally, we have the ergonomics of this lens. This is a lens that has some interesting ergonomics. It's built weird. It's one of those lenses that when you see it walking around or you see someone with it, you're like, dang, what is that lens? Well, now you know. It's a Sigma 105mm f1.4. This thing is a beast. On camera, it's a beast. Even holding it in just my hands, it's a beast. It's honestly really comfy to hand hold when I'm shooting, and it's not that much of a deal personally, but I only shoot with it for no more than like 2 to 3 hours, and then you start to really feel the weight of this lens. I would highly compare this to the Sony 200 to 600 if you guys have ever shot with that. It kind of feels the same, just most of the weight is more close to the camera rather than that 200 to 600 being about that long. It's more far away from the camera. But in terms of weight distribution, that's different, but the actual weight of the camera and the lens together is almost the exact same. But moving on, the tripod collar down here honestly helps a lot, and I really enjoy that they put that on there. If they didn't put that on there, honestly, this lens would not be something that I would even consider to buy. But with the tripod collar, it makes it a lot better. It's easier to hold, it's easier to put onto a tripod. I know I'm not stressing the mount of the camera body or of the lens itself, and it's really, really nice to have a tripod collar down there. Again, it is a full metal body. It's going to be robust. It's going to last you basically forever, and this thing has really, really stood up to the test of time. These lenses aren't made anymore, so you're going to have to find them on the used market, but they sell for around $1,200 to $1,500 depending on where you buy them. Now, finally, the pros and the cons. Should you buy this? The pros, 105mm f1.4. There's not much more I need to say about that. Fast autofocus, it's tack sharp, amazing colors. Again, compression and bokeh is your friend. If you're one of those people like me who love compression, who love bokeh, you're gonna love this lens. Imagine an 85mm f1.4, f1.2, just better, in my opinion. Now, the only difference is obviously the weight. So if you're one of those people who are running and gunning and you do portraits and you're just going from spot to spot to spot, then I would suggest buying this, the 85mm, or even the 135mm from like Viltrox or Sony. And I did actually make a video about the 135mm from Sigma. So if you want to check that video out, it'll be up in one of the top corners, as well as linked in the description below. That lens is amazing, so make sure you check that video out. But personally, I like the 85mm more than the 135. But if you are going to be in a studio, or if you're going to be someone who just shoots an hour to 2 hours at a time, the 135mm, I think that's what you're going to be the best suited for. Obviously, with being 105mm, you're going to need more room, so you can't be as close to your subject, but the photos this thing renders are second to none, and it's beautiful. The cons of this, obviously it's heavy. Coming in at almost 4 pounds, it's not going to be a lens that you can carry every day, all day long, but it's nice. I mean, as much as it is heavy, I know a lot of people complain about that and they say that I'm not going to buy that lens. I sold my lens because of the weight. I don't think that's going to ever be an issue personally. I think that if you buy a lens like this, you know what you're getting into, and I think the pros outweigh the cons of this being so heavy. Another con is the filter thread is 105mm. So all of your lens filters that you previously bought for your 7200, or anything like that, which is the most average size, 77 millimeters, you're going to need to buy brand new ones. And at 105 millimeters, you don't have that many options. You have some from Polar Pro and I think K&F Concept as well, but they're going to be in the northern range of $200 to $300 for just a filter thread. Now, at f1.4, you're going to definitely be needing a VND filter or a CPL. If you're shooting cars and stuff, then definitely a CPL. And if you're shooting an off-camera flash and don't have a global shutter like me on the A7IV, then a VND is very, very needed if you want to keep your aperture wide open and still use that off-camera flash. So keep that in mind. The final con and pro, so it's kind of combined, is the price. $1,500 on average. Honestly, for a lens this good, for a lens of this caliber, I don't think that's a lot of money. And I think that it's pretty well priced. I'm really hoping that Sigma does release another 105mm f1.4, maybe an f1.2. That would be so sick. But I really hope they release another one, get a version 2 of this, and I think that would do absolutely amazing on the market because this lens has become a staple for so many photographers. I think this lens would do amazing with a version 2. So that's going to be it for the overview. Let's head into Lightroom and I'll show you some of the photos that we got. Let's go. So we went out and we shot with this bad boy right here, the Sigma 105mm f1.4. I'm so excited to show you guys some of these images, and I don't own this lens. However, if you guys have one of these that you're selling, please let me know. I would really, really like to get my hands on one of these and own it. This is one of my buddies, Pablo Ramirez Torregrosa. You can find him on YouTube at PRT Photography and also prt.co.com. He does some amazing dog portraits, and if you want to check him out, please go check him out. His channel will be linked in the description below, and this is his lens, and he's nice enough to let me film a YouTube video with it and play around with all of his fun camera gear. So let's dive right here into Lightroom. Now, these photos are spanning over a couple months, and I got to do some portraits, some sports, and I just recently did some headshots with it, and I'm really excited to show you guys the versatility of this lens and kind of the cool characteristics of such a awkward lens, 105mm f1.4, that not a lot of people get to see, and not a lot of people get to get their hands on. So let's take a look, diving right in chronologically with some headshots I did. You can find all of my portfolio on Focusonthephoto.com, as well as Instagram, Gabe M Photography, if you want to check out more of my photos or maybe book a photo shoot with me. So as you can see here, this was shot on the Sigma 105mm f1.4. Although it does say JPEG, that's because I re-downloaded it from a file that I did, or a gallery that I sent out, and I deleted it from Lightroom, but then I re-downloaded it. But you can see 105mm f1.4 at 1/200th of a second because I was using an off-camera flash, and I did use a VND filter. So diving right in, you can see that we have a really nice looking portrait, and you can see my subject's face is extremely sharp. Zoomed in at 200%, he's extremely sharp, and I was a good bit away from him. And the background though is just absolutely beautiful. The bokeh balls, the creaminess of it, it's amazing. And even some of the foreground, you can see where that focus starts to come up and grab his eye, while this column over here is nice and not too distracting. So that's kind of just something really nice about this lens, is that you can get some really, really nice subject separation from whatever you're shooting, as well as the amazing compression of his face and body. It looks extremely natural, and it looks basically as good as a portrait can get in terms of focal length, compressing the body. Moving on to kind of the same shoot, again on the 105mm. You can see that, again, he is extremely tack sharp right on the eye. You can see my catch light there in his eyes as well, and you can just see how sharp this photo is. And then if you climb up to the background, you can see that it's extremely creamy, and shooting it wide open, there's no issue with that. It just looks amazing. The background is almost basically gone. You can kind of tell what it is, but it looks extremely creamy and really, really nice. There's a little bit of vignetting up here in the corners, but then again, that can be very, very easily fixed just with a little bit of Photoshop. If we come down to here, vignette, and drag it down to the minus, or not the minus, the plus, you can see we can get rid of that quite easily in like the plus 10 to 20 area. But yeah, that looks good. Just get rid of it as easy as that. The next little session that we did was at Salon Amica. If you guys are in the area of Fort Myers, Estero, Naples, Salon Amica is one of the most amazing salons I've ever been to. I actually get my hair cut there now, and it's amazing. It's super, super clean, super just aesthetic looking, and everyone there is amazing. And the owner, Billy, is also an amazing person. So here is one of the photos I got from it. That is Billy, and she is just one of the greatest people ever. She's super nice and extremely talented at what she does. However, we're looking at image quality. Again, this was downloaded off of a gallery I sent to her, but you can see my settings, ISO 800, 1/250th, f1.4, and you can see just how sharp this is. Even downloaded from a gallery and not completely raw, you can see just how sharp this is. You can see every little hair. You can see my signature up there, but it is so sharp right there on Billy. And you can see the background, the end of the Salon Amica lettering back in this left corner, how nice and creamy that looks. And these down here, those actually are like hairstyle products in bottles, which are almost the size of the Sigma lens. And you can see just how smooth and creamy they look, as well as the mirror. Even this person clapping over here is super smooth and creamy. Again, there's a little bit of vignetting, but the really thing I want to focus on is this balloon. So this is actually a really, really tall balloon with a gold like tinsel string that holds it down. And you can see there is really absolutely no chromatic aberration on the balloon. And I was thinking that in this photo, there would be some chromatic aberration because of just being such a high contrast gold and really, really shiny gold. However, there is really no chromatic aberration. And that kind of surprised me. It kind of was a good thing. And I'm excited to, see how this lens does with other things. And I've been using it, and I haven't really noticed any chromatic aberration that extremely sticks out to me. So that's honestly really good. Good points for the lens. Moving on, I did get to mess around with it just a little bit for golf, and I captured actually one of my favorite photos of golf. So this is Eva Lai. Her Instagram is Eva Lai's Golf, if you want to check her out. But you can see down here where I got it, where the ball is just coming off that tee. Absolutely smoked it right in the sweet spot of that driver, which is amazing because I could never do anything like that. So that's really cool. But again, the photo is tack sharp. It was focused right on her eye, and you can see that her eye is amazingly sharp, coming all the way down. Her body is extremely sharp. The shoes and the golf club is slightly getting into focus as it swings down. But you can see that this grass right here is gone. Like, it's just a pastel, it's painting. It's amazing what this f1.4 can do. And then you can see where that grass is in focus, that it's nice and tack sharp, leading up to her shoes. And then behind it, I mean, it's gone. That photo is just beautiful. The bokeh is amazing. And just the subject separation in this photo is amazing, second to none. I would really arguably say that this lens, this 105mm lens at f1.4, has the best background separation of any lens that you can buy on the market right now. And I will stand by that very, very wholeheartedly. Moving on, another really cool shot. This shows the background greenery, just how nice that background fall off is. Again, now standing a little bit further back, this is cropped in, but you can see it looks really nice. Again, really nice shot. Background looks really smooth. I mean, the ball, the sand hitting it right out of the bunker, it's amazing. There's really not much more I could say about this lens other than compression, background separation, bokeh, sharpness, a little bit of vignetting, really no chromatic aberration. Even on the wedge here, you can see that there's very little chromatic aberration and discoloration of it. It's basically just a pure silver, which is really, really nice. Okay, moving on to some headshots that I did. These are shot at, I want to say I shot these at f8, 1/120th of a second, ISO 100. That's kind of my baseline of what I shoot at for my headshots. And it's a 4 flash setup, so 2 in the back, 1 like front quarter, and then 1 on the right quarter. My front left one being my main light, and the right one being my fill light. But you can see we have the catch light right in her eye, and you can see just how sharp her face is. Like, I am blown up by like 500%, I don't even know, but it is extremely sharp. Every little hair you can see, and you can see just how perfect this portrait is. All the way down her body, it's extremely sharp. You can see every little detail in the jeans, in the belt, and at f8, this thing is just amazing. So this is really, really good for this lens. Here's another one. I just wanted to point this one out because of, one, obviously how sharp it is, but coming down to her little belt thing, the silver, again, there's no discoloration, no chromatic aberration, which is really, really nice, including on her rings down here, which is really cool. And you can just see how sharp this lens can be. Final photo in this sequence is a little bit more dramatic one. You can see a little bit more vignetting up here, but that could also be my flashes. But you can see just how sharp, again, this lens is. You can also see some of these rim lights coming in on this side and on this side of her. Again, really nice portrait and more dramatic lighting. All right, now you can see me in this photo. This was at Hannah's graduation ceremony, and this is actually annoying me. I'm gonna auto level it. There we go. But you can see this is a higher ISO photo, and I wanted to show you this for a reason. But this is a high ISO photo of Hannah's graduation, and we'll just zoom in on me. This was shot at, let's see, ISO 1600, so not extremely high, but it's not like low. And you can still see it retains a lot of its sharpness. There's no color fringing on her necklace or my clothing at all, not even on my rings, and it looks really, really good. The whole family looks really good, and I'm really happy about this photo. Moving on to another photo of my fiance. Here we have her. I was testing lighting for the portraits, which you are gonna see here in a second. So this photo is, again, f8, 1/125th, you know. But I mean, look how sharp her eyes are. You can see the catch light. You can see all of her cute little freckles, her teeth, which are a lot whiter than mine, and her bracelet. Her Pandora bracelet has no color fringing, no chromatic aberration, once again, which is amazing. Her hair looks beautiful. It's got that nice red tone. Her sweater, which I actually bought her, looks amazing, or my mom bought her, but it looks amazing. You can even see some of the straggler hairs from it, and it looks amazing. So, moving on, another portrait, f8, of this guy, Christoph. He looks amazing, really, really sharp right there on the face. The hair looks really sharp. I'm just repeating myself. But this is a cool photo. This was shot at f13, I want to say. Yeah, f13, 1 second shutter speed at 105 millimeters. Now, it is a little underexposed, yes, but if we bring it up just a little bit, like right there, I don't know, we'll see. But like that, you can see that we got this really, really cool shutter drag. And the way you do a shutter drag for a crash course is, imagine there's a camera on the back of this, 1 second, shutter, boom. Just tap your camera. So go 1, 2, shutter, and then you just drag your lens just a little bit to get that shutter drag effect so that he is still sharp, but you get that really nice effect. In camera, no Photoshop, and I really like some of these photos. I think they can turn out really well. In fact, the thumbnail to this YouTube video was a shutter drag photo, so I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it is. And the final photo, just nice casual headshot, still extremely sharp on his face. You can see his eyes, the catch lights in his eyes. His chain looks amazing. You can see every little fiber of that shirt coming down to his jeans looks amazing. And yeah, there's really not much more to say about these photos. They all look amazing. So with that, that is going to be it with this lens, the 105mm f1.4 from Sigma. I'm praying they release a version 2 of this lens, because if they don't, I will be buying this in the next couple months. And if they do, then I will wait for the version 2, but I've never heard anything about it yet. So I think I'm going to be picking this guy up very, very shortly. If you guys have used this lens, if you guys have any recommendations on another lens like this, including the 135mm f1.8 from Viltrox, Sigma, and Sony, I have made a video on that, so make sure you check it out after this. But this lens is one of my favorites, and if you guys have used it, let me know what you liked about it, what you didn't like about this lens in the comments below. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. As always, peace, God bless y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.